First at 10, the son of renowned football coach Bo Schembechler opening up today about alleged sex abuse that he says he faced at the hands of late University of Michigan sports doctor Robert Anderson.
According to lawyers, he may be one of as many as 800 victims. We do need to warn you, however, what you're about to hear is disturbing.
My father sent me to Dr. Robert Anderson for my first physical exam around 1969. I was in the 4th grade. As a 10-year-old kid, I didn't really know what to expect. But what Dr. Anderson did made me uncomfortable.
Matt Schembechler, one of 3 men testifying Thursday about the abuse they suffered at the hands of longtime Wolverines doctor Robert E. Anderson, who died in 2008.
He fondled my genitals and conducted an invasive rectal exam with his finger.
Matt said Anderson's abuse was the worst kept secret at the university, and everything was done to protect the university's reputation and that of his father, Coach Bo Schembechler, who reportedly knew about the abuse for years. During Thursday's address, Matt recalled telling his mom when he was just 10 years old about what had happened and the reaction from his dad.
When Bo got home, I told him what happened, and that did not go well. Bo's temper was legendary, and he lost it. He screamed, "I don't want to hear this. I'm not hearing this." I tried to tell him repeatedly, but my effort earned me a punch in the chest.
2 other former players, Daniel Kwiatkowski and Gilvani Johnson, also spoke on Thursday about what they endured.
During the meeting, Bo made promises to my parents. Bo promised them that if I attended the University of Michigan and played football, that Bo would be a father to me and look after me like I was family. My freshman year, I attended my first mandatory physical with Dr. Anderson. During that physical, Dr. Anderson molested and violated me. He inappropriately caressed my testicles while asking me detailed questions about my sex life.
When Daniel took his allegations to Coach Schembechler,
Bo looked at me and said, "Toughen up."
According to allegations, appointments with Dr. Anderson were used as punishment in some cases. A report commissioned and paid for by the University of Michigan found Anderson abused hundreds of patients during his time at the school from 1966 to 2003. Attorneys say the count is as high as 800 people, about 90% of which were men. The report says his misconduct led some athletes to quit their teams, even leave school altogether, and prompted other students to question their sexuality and negatively impacted their grades. The survivors who spoke Thursday say the effects on them lasted well after college.
Because of my experience at Michigan, I did not trust doctors and intimacy issues and have always been too promiscuous in an effort to prove to myself and to others that I was a man. Because Michigan did not take care of me like they promised my mother, I was molested over and over again by Dr. Anderson. I lost 2 marriages because of the decision that Bo made to keep Dr. Anderson on staff, knowing that he was molesting us.
All the victims say, while painful to speak out, it's important to stop the cycle of abuse, both from the perpetrators and those who don't stop it from happening.
I'm coming forward for my own healing and to help prevent people and institutions from exploiting the trust, power, and authority given to them.
I am grateful for the chance to tell my story and hope that other people who may be in similar positions know that it's okay to protect yourself from a perverted doctor and the coaches who covered up for him.
Of course, the legendary coach Bo Schembechler died in 2006. Today, the university president and board of regents released a statement in response to the abuse, saying their sympathy is with Anderson's victims and they thank them for coming forward. They also say they're committed to resolving their claims and continuing the court-guided confidential mediation process. Meanwhile, university says it's adopted dozens of policies designed to protect student health and safety, including developing a misconduct policy, a policy to prohibit romantic relationships between teachers and students, and requiring mandatory sexual misconduct training for all employees. Tonight, we are going one-on-one with a sports psychologist to learn how a large-scale abuse situation like this can happen in the first place.
And why so many athletes might not have been comfortable coming forward sooner.
People are trying to protect whatever they're most highly valuing and invested in. And in college sports, yeah, I mean, a big motivator is the perception, the recruiting, the tremendous effect that it's going to have on an entire program, millions of dollars. It's got its own unique challenges, which is why in college sports, we want to take reports of this even more seriously.
Dr. Eddie O'Connor there telling us now may be a good time to talk to your student athletes about this sensitive subject using a story like this in the news. His advice is to be comfortable talking about it, be straightforward so they know what to be on the lookout for. He says in abuse cases, the victims may feel that it's their fault or that they did something wrong, causing them not to want to open up about what's going on, especially in high-stakes college sports. And he's urging anyone involved who hears about these types of abuse allegations to pay attention.
Coach and parent that's out there and listening to this, if you hear that there is any abuse, you must put all of your stuff aside and protect that child, protect that teen, protect that person who is being hurt, and look at it and explore it, even if it costs you something, because you're saving a life.
As for what to look out for if your athlete may be in trouble, Dr. Eddie says there are a few things that you'll want to have on your radar, like if they're starting to become more withdrawn, irritable, isolating themselves, or if their grades are dropping. He says those are all signs that something is going on and you may want to check in with your child.